Hi, everyone. Scott and Franz, we are back again. I am so excited that we're here with Raviteja Dodda, who's the CEO of MoEngage. Hi, Ravi. Thank you so much for joining us for Martech Day. Thank you so much for sponsoring Martech Day. Could you start out by just sharing with our audience a bit about your background, as well as telling them a bit about MoEngage?
Sure, Scott. And firstly, thank you, Scott and Franz, for having me as part of the Martech Day. Every year I look at the document that you publish. Look forward to that next year as well. So coming to myself, Engage. So MoEngage is my second startup, and as a company we will be 10 years this July. So we started off in 2014, and before MoEngage, I ran a consumer company called Delight Circle for 3 years. It was a mobile app which helped people discover offers and coupons from local stores and retailers. And when we were building it and scaling it, that's when we saw the challenges of driving customer engagement ourselves. We saw that there were a lot of these legacy marketing cloud platforms that are out there, which were addressing the need of early internet businesses. But as businesses became more mobile first, and there is a lot of data that is being generated, we felt a need of a new modern customer engagement platform that is required for this new world. And that pain point led us to the idea of MoEngage, and that's how we ended up starting in 2014. And before that company, I did a brief stint at Cisco and did my undergrad at one of the premier institutes of India, IIT. Yeah. So, and coming to MoEngage, so MoEngage is an insights-led customer engagement platform, primarily focused on consumer businesses. We empower marketers and product owners with relevant customer insights to be able to deliver highly personalized experiences across channels. And MoEngage is used by over 1,200 customers globally, including the likes of Deutsche Telekom, Garmin, Flipkart, Loblaw Group, and many others. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's so great that you started this with your own background from understanding the challenges. So actually, you're the perfect person to ask this question of how is cross-channel marketing evolving, and how did data warehouses and customer data platforms, CDPs, fit into this?
I think that's a great question. If you look at in the early 2010s, cross-channel marketing, the first generation marketing cloud platforms, was just about like email and SMS, with most brands delivering messaging across these two major channels, email and SMS. And over the last decade, with more channels that are available for consumer brands to engage with customers, including channels like around mobile messaging, with mobile apps coming an important part of the customer journey, and then channels like web, TV, advertising, and even messaging apps like WhatsApp and so on. We have seen significant need for a cross-channel platform. We have seen brands like adopting cross-channel marketing over 6 or 7 channels and together. And at MoEngage, what we believe is that cross-channel marketing should be less about channels and campaigns, and should be more about data-driven insights and real-time engagement. And that's something we've seen significant evolution of cross-channel marketing, especially in the last decade from that standpoint. And we started evangelizing that insights-led approach instead of a campaign-centric approach that some of the early companies drove. And when it comes to the warehouses and CDP platforms, if you look at a good percentage of enterprise brands like use CDPs, and they unify and ingest data from these different touch points and pipe data to cross-channel marketing platforms, right? And initially they started off with a unique value proposition was with being unifying those with data from all these different data sources, with the brands having to integrate all these different SDKs and APIs, right? And with the evolution of cloud data warehouses, reverse ETL tools, and even like now brands don't need to integrate too many destinations. There has been questions about the kind of role that CDPs play. And the other fact is that all of these companies are doing a great job at product marketing, which is ending up confusing the overall market. And brands should focus on the jobs to be done and their use cases, and look at which solutions fit their needs, instead of looking at, okay, whether it should be a zero copy architecture versus whether I should be piping data in real time to CDPs, right? I think brands should look at, okay, what it takes to implement their use cases, and should look at it from that standpoint.
All right. So you just mentioned about the rise of cloud data warehouses, and with more company operations, customer interactions feeding into those cloud data warehouses, what new possibilities do you see that marketers should consider?
I think I would start with mentioning that the adoption of cloud data warehouses, especially from the behavioral data standpoint, is it's still like kind of nascent stage right now, and that's something, but that's rapidly evolving. And some of the cross-channel marketing platforms, including us, and with the reverse CTL tools, it has they have made it possible to pipe data from the warehouses to make it richer, to make the data much more richer, and also you can combine it with real-time behavioral data as well. So what I'm excited about is the possibility to have these platforms like us operating directly on top of the warehouse, where marketers can create these segments or audiences directly on top of the warehouse without actually having to ingest data from the warehouses to like platforms like us, right? And this will be extremely beneficial for companies in, let's say, in regulatory industries like financial services, healthcare, and even companies with huge volumes of data like gaming, OTT, and social media applications, where they don't need to like, for certain use cases, they don't need to like copy data from warehouses to cross-channel platforms. I think that's something that I would see a new possibility that we see would be evolving over the course of this year and next year.
That's really cool. And yeah, obviously the big topic of today is AI. So in the context of
Yep,
cross-channel
of course.
marketing, what do you think are the most valuable use cases that are being unlocked or can be unlocked in the year ahead?
Yeah, so I think firstly, AI is not new in the cross-channel marketing category. Many companies in the cross-channel marketing space have done some work around AI, whether it could be optimal time, optimal content, dynamic content optimization, things like that, and even predictive modeling. But there's a lot happening today in AI with a lot of new models that are coming up, and of course, generative AI, right? And these are all going to be a big tailwind for the cross-channel marketing category, especially. I think probably after customer support, I think cross-channel marketing category or the marketing category is going to be is one major category which would see significant tailwinds in terms of innovation, in terms of growth. And it's, if you see today, like it started with text-based AI, like the GPT, which is revolutionizing the content generation or the copy generation for the marketing standpoint. And we are seeing how, like with our own products, we are seeing significant adoption of these AI capabilities in terms of generating a lot of AI variants in terms of content copies, and marketers are able to rapidly experiment and reduce time as well as driving better results. And in terms of the possibilities, what I'm going to see next, I think first and foremost, what we are seeing is on the visual AI, which is around how you can generate creatives at scale. And obviously, there are aspects around copyright governance that needs to be looked into. But there's a lot of work that we expect to see, and that would like significantly leapfrog what's possible from the cross-channel marketing standpoint. We also will see applications around interactive AI, where marketers can interact like with a co-pilot or an assistant to create audiences, to create campaign workflows with prompts in natural language, and even get insights quickly on their campaigns or workflows, right? So basically democratizing the access to analytics and many of these technical aspects for non-technical marketers, right? I think those are some of the biggest applications that we expect to see. Some other things like even localization, content localization. If you look at marketing, is a lot about marketing content. And when you look at a global company like Garmin, which needs to send marketing emails across like 70 plus countries and languages, the localization is a big challenge and something that we see can be really disrupted with the AI technology. Conversational AI has been a big trend over the last few years with the adoption of messaging applications. However, many of the implementations and deployments were very rule-based. And I think we will see that changing where brands can have near human interactions with the latest advancements in the technology as well. So those are some of the things that I'm excited about.
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff. Maybe actually even to just hone in a little bit on one of them, personalization has probably been the most common
Yep.
objective in marketing technology for, oh my goodness, like the past 25 years. But it keeps
Yep.
evolving, it keeps advancing. What is the state of the art in personalization today? And how should marketers be incorporating it?
Yeah, I think almost every marketing company, if you see the landing page of the website or the homepage of the website, personalization is one of the top of the things that you would see. And everyone talks about it. And so I think for me, historically, personalization has been majorly been around outbound channels like email, notifications, SMS, advertising. There's been a lot of focus on personalization around these channels or even adoption by brands as well. Even from the adoption of brands as well, I think that is where there's been heavy usage. I believe that on-site experience, in-app experience, personalization in real time is going to be an important big value driver for brands. Considering that the marketing budgets already are tight, like marketing budgets to spend people to bring coming onto the website or your app is already very tight, and you want to make the most value out of your traffic. So that would mean that brands need to use marketing technology that enables them to really personalize and rapidly experiment these on-site experiences and in-app experiences so that they can offer the next best experience for each customer without the involvement of IT or engineering on an ongoing basis. I think that's one of the things marketers really could incorporate this technology across their website experiences, in-app experiences, and even like landing pages of the ad campaigns so that they can really drive higher ROI, right? And second trend I'm seeing is on the personalization of the journeys. It's just not about personalizing certain touch points like your email or an on-site or in-app experience, but how are you personalizing the journey, which could be a combination of channels, outbound, inbound channels, and even combination of even service experiences as well. And how are you combining this, personalizing these overall journeys, and which is really gonna be a lot more made possible with the advancements in AI technology as well, in terms of how you can actually optimize and personalize these journeys altogether for each individual. Yeah.
You briefly mentioned the involvement of IT or not. So that's a big topic
Yep.
for marketing speed up. What are your thoughts on composability Martech stack and the experiences for customers?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. When I speak to any of our some of the partner companies in the Martech, like no two companies, if you look at any two companies in the marketing technology space, there's some overlap. And even though there is a larger trend of consolidation of multiple use cases on a single platform, I believe that every marketing technology platform needs to be composable, and brands should be able to compose different software modules and even data from different platforms and even APIs from these different platforms to achieve the use cases that brands have. So that's gonna be it's gonna really really matter. For instance, like from our experience, like working with 1,200 plus customers, like brands, like for example, segmentation or audience building is an important aspect of cross-channel marketing. And each brand has their own preference. Some like to do it on our platform. Some like to do it on the CDP. Some like to do it on an internal platform. So you need to offer that composability that even if brands want to do it, that audience building somewhere else, how do you enable that composable approach? So every marketing tech platform should focus on composability, expose a lot of APIs, and also build a plethora of integrations. Integrations become very important. We have a dedicated team where we can apply where we keep building integrations. So I believe that it's overall very important for brands to cover their use cases by leveraging, I think, what you call it as best of feature integrations. I read your last document. It's just not about best of breed anymore. It is like best of feature, where you're able to take up different features from these different platforms and able to deliver the use cases that brands have.
You are definitely preaching to the choir. So we've talked about a lot of the significance of these changes in the technology. I'd love to get your sense. How do you see the most successful marketers adapting their organizations, their internal collaborations to really harness these new capabilities?
I think that's the I think it continues to become challenging for marketers as products become more sophisticated and they need to contract with so many multiple different teams to achieve their business goals, right? So what we have seen is that most successful companies have built most successful companies in terms of how they adapted cross-channel marketing or even broader marketing technology have built like these cross-team pods between marketing, product, data, and even engineering, where they have like teams like Martech or growth team with representatives from these different functions. At the same time, they have strong alignment towards those common goals or business objectives, right? So when these set structures have been there in some of these companies, I think they have done well, and that's key for brands like to activate most of the data, so that with the collaboration from the data team, and then they're able to rapidly experiment with the support from the product engineering teams and really take those new initiatives to production much more quickly and able to deliver those results. And in fact, we are seeing more and more data platform teams in our conversations from the cross-channel marketing standpoint, whether it is in the purchasing evaluations or even post-purchasing as well. So that's something we are seeing, the data as a function being a lot more involved in the recent past.
That's a great idea. Cross-channel calls for cross-departmental teams. I get that. And on a more individual level, so are there certain talents and skills that marketers should focus on developing to keep pace with the new, possibilities that arise?
Yeah, I think as we just was discussing, it's just becoming challenging more for marketers with a lot more sophisticated tools available. But I think one thing I want to touch upon is that traditionally, like marketing ended up becoming like campaign centric. It's just because of the historical reasons, and where they end up like creating that CRM strategy based on like more best practices and hypothesis driven. But that said, every brand is different and customer behavior is changing rapidly, and we need marketers to be a lot more growth oriented, more data driven, and the cross-channel marketing strategy needs to be more insights led, right? And that's a skill I think we believe that there's a lot more opportunity for marketers to develop more, that more being more growth oriented. And the other part is that even though there's a lot of things that are now possible by automation, or will be possible by automation more and more, human creativity isn't still irreplaceable, right? Isn't still replaceable. So with some of the operational things that can be possible with some of the tooling available, marketers should be more creative and push the boundaries of what's possible. That's equally more important.
Super exciting. Wow, we could pick your brain for easily another hour. I think maybe for one closing question, though, we'd love to just get your perspective of what are you most excited about for the year ahead? So many fun things happening in our industry. What gets you most excited?
Yeah, like there's so much happening every day. We are seeing new models, new AI models that perform better than the last previous ones. Things that we felt were impossible, almost impossible a year ago, made possible. So I'm excited about how the interface, like in terms of various marketing tools and even the workflow, could be completely different and completely rethought from scratch in an AI first world, where we kind of significantly improve the productivity as well as the kind of the results that companies are seeing. So I see that obviously AI will be embedded in various aspects of the existing products. I think what's also would be very interesting is that instead of just looking at it incrementally, how do you really think completely grounds up in terms of what are the jobs to be done and how should platforms be look like completely different in the AI first world. I think that's something I'm more excited about. And I also am excited about some of the real-time experience personalization and also the data warehouses adoption from the cross-channel marketing standpoint. I think those are a couple of other areas I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, it's definitely an exciting time to be in marketing and Martech. Ravi, thank you so much for joining us, sharing your expertise. Thank you again for sponsoring Martech Day, and looking forward to seeing the future ahead with you. Thank you.
Same here, Scott. Same here, Frans. Thank you.
Thank you.